my wife Elizabeth Maxwell is my co-founder. To also thank First Flight for the tremendous support they've given us. We're a friend of First Flight, which is a slightly different category, but they've been able to help us get meetings with important groups to help us move our business forward. And so hats off to Andy and the crew at First Flight. Our company's Mom Delicious, and Elizabeth's going to start.
Well, as Dennis has said, we are Maxwell's Own Muscadine, or Mom Delicious, and we're very excited to be here today to tell you about this new brand. It is based on an amazing native fruit to North Carolina, the muscadine grape. You may have seen or heard of the mother vine, which is 400 years old on Manio Island. We are headquartered in North Carolina, and we're backed by research at NC State. You may also be aware that there are many muscadine trials, clinical trials being done at Johns Hopkins and other institutions based on very good preliminary research to fight different types of cancer with muscadine, so that's very exciting also. We are a company filled with passionate people. We surrounded ourselves with an excellent team, and this is just the beginning.
Okay. I want you to remember three things. Tom said that in his presentation. I'm going to do the same thing. I want you to remember big. I want you to remember sustainable. And I want you to remember that Mom is better than Pom. Market research shows the North America beverage market for non-alcoholic beverages $258 billion in the U.S. alone. This particular category that we're going after is called the super premium juice market. When you go in the grocery store, go to the produce section, you see that refrigerator, that's where we're headed. That category is anywhere between 5 and 10 billion, depending on who you talk to. It's growing fast. When we meet our numbers, we're going to need to quadruple the amount of acres that are devoted to muscadines here in North Carolina and in other parts of the Southeast. We're talking thousands of jobs and careers, not just agricultural jobs, marketing, branding, market research, food research, across the board. I like to think of Burt's Bees as an example of a company that came to Durham with, I believe they had, I may be wrong in this, but 300 jobs that pay over $100,000 a year. We think we can do the same thing here. We'll be able to develop additional products and SKUs. We might mix it with blueberry juice from Duplin County. We might mix it with cherry, other things that we might mix it with over time. We also can provide other products, like for example to bakeries and large-scale food providers. This has a global brand potential. It's also, I think, one of the first examples of a branded North Carolina agricultural success. We've all heard of the California raisin. We've heard of the California cows. There's tons of those initiatives. We think North Carolina has even more opportunity than they do out there, and this will be one of the first of many. It's sustainable. Elizabeth mentioned that there's a vine growing in Manio that Sir Walter Raleigh discovered in 1538. That vine is still growing and still producing a crop. It's called the mother vine. It's in some guy's yard in Manio, I'm not kidding. It's unbelievable. It's a ½ acre in size. This is a viable alternative to growing tobacco in eastern North Carolina. Elizabeth's family has been living in eastern North Carolina since the 1600s. We came back from Virginia to care for her parents, elderly parents, and we started looking around at what can we do with this land, and we realized that muscadines is a really good alternative if we can find someone to buy the crop. We're the someone that's going to buy the crop. Jobs and careers for generations. These plants will deliver for 100 years, and that's being conservative. They're very tough plants. They're native here. They grow in sandy soil and high humidity. They don't require pesticides. They're an incredibly, relatively speaking, easy to grow fruit. We think there'll be lots of related support and service business. You know, if this business and this industry gets the size that I expect it to be, it'll be at least $1 billion industry. So there's jobs for professionals, for advisors, for equipment manufacturers, even the John Deere tractors. One of my favorite stories is we have good friends who have a winery in Napa, and they've been there since 1967, and they tell the story of what Napa looked like when they moved there. And if you've been there recently, it's 800 square miles, and it's covered with vines even up the mountains as you drive around. Duplin County, where we live, is also 800 square miles. It just so happens. And we think that we can increase the real estate value and the tax base by getting people to plant these muscadines. We've got plenty of room. Lots of room where the tobacco used to be. Mom is better than Palm. I encourage all of you to taste it. We have it out at the table. You can taste our juice. When I say it's better, it tastes a lot better. Most of the juice that's good for you is expensive and tastes terrible. Ours tastes great and is really good for you. It's an unusual combination. In 10 years, Palm started January 1st, 2003 at 0. They're now at 175 million in annual sales. They're in all 50 states and in 50 countries around the world. They have a 4,500 acre processing facility in the Central Valley of California. They have advertising, marketing people. It's really quite a remarkable success story. But you know what? Muscadines are better than pomegranates. We have more antioxidants, more fiber, more protein, and a bunch of other stuff that these folks could probably explain better than I could in terms of micronutrients. But it's better than a pomegranate and it tastes better. So I'm going to end by asking you to remember that Mom Delicious is better than Palm Wonderful.